This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter and welcoming you to another sports catastrophe on this day. And on this day, 25 years ago, actually no, 24 years ago in 1997, Mike Tyson was to face Evander Holyfield in their second fight. They call it the bite fight. And for good reason, too. I mean, there's always a reason and all that. So, anyway, Holyfield and Tyson were supposed to be fighting each other in the 1990s and all that. In 1992, it was decided that Tyson and Holyfield would fight for the heavyweight belt. Tyson lost his belt to Buster Douglas in 1990, who then lost it to Holyfield. But injuries to both Tyson and Holyfield ruined a potential dream fight in 1991. But by 1992, it was broken up because of one serious thing. Mike Tyson's rape of Desiree Washington. So anyway, Tyson and Holyfield actually met 7 months earlier in 1996. So in November of 96, they finally fought after Tyson served 3 years in jail and actually won the WBA belt over Bruce Seldon in an easy KO. Holyfield was actually an underdog entering the match because he was lackluster since he returned to fight in 1995. However, Holyfield surprised Tyson by controlling the contest and KO'd him in the 6th round. Mitch Halpern stopped the fight in the 11th round, giving Holyfield a victory. So this was the debut for the WBA title. The WBC and the WBO, I don't know who had those, but it wasn't anything. Holyfield was 33-3 going into the fight with 24 KOs. But Holyfield lost twice to Riddick Bowe. That was huge. Mike Tyson was 45-2 with 39 KOs, losing to both Holyfield and Buster Douglas only. So anyway, Holyfield basically got Tyson right where he wanted in the rematch. It was supposed to be Halpern being the fighter. The guy, but the referee. But Tyson's camp objected, so Mills Lane came in. Yes, that Mills Lane who became a TV judge. So anyway, Tyson was being outclassed. However, he was complaining about headbutting and all that. But Mills Lane reviewed the replays, and headbutts were unintentional. Well, that got Tyson's fury up. He came out of the corner without his mouthpiece, but Lane says you gotta use your mouthpiece. So Tyson inserted his mouthpiece and all that. He looked pretty good and all that. Holyfield got Tyson in a clinch with about 40 seconds left. Tyson decided to roll his head above Holyfield's shoulder and bite Holyfield on his right ear, getting a 1-inch piece of cartilage from the top of the ear. And Tyson spat out the ear onto the floor. Holyfield shrieked in pain and jumped in circles. He pushed Tyson away. Lane basically sent Tyson to a neutral corner as Holyfield was mad about his spinning ear being bleeding profusely. Lane wasn't sure what to do. Lane was going to disqualify Tyson, but the ringside doctor said Holyfield is okay to continue. So Lane would have to deduct points from Tyson. So basically, Tyson again decided to clinch and then bite Holyfield's left ear now. Amazing. Yeah, so Tyson bit the left ear, but it wasn't as bad as the other ear. However, the fight was stopped because Tyson just went on a rampage. So Tyson got disqualified. Anyway, Tyson was not too happy and all that. Lane told everyone that Tyson was told not to bite. And because Tyson disobeyed that order, he had to be disqualified. So basically, it was huge. But here's the thing. There was a brawl and all that. 25 minutes after that was when it was announced that Mike Tyson got disqualified at the end of round 3 and all that. And Holyfield retains his WBA belt. So basically, Tyson said his recent bites were in retaliation for Holyfield's headbutts. Kind of figured it was retaliation. But basically, Tyson got a lot of problems and all that. Holyfield did forgive Tyson because of his faith in God and Jesus. Jeez, you shouldn't have done that. Sky Sports said that this was the first time in more than 50 years that no one's been disqualified, that there's been a disqualification and a title belt. And they were correct. The last time there was a disqualification was Joe Louis versus Buddy Bear in 1941. When Buddy Bear was disqualified after his manager refused to leave the ring. Tyson would be basically suspended indefinitely for boxing and have his boxing license revoked and all that. He had to go through community service and be fined $3 million. After a year, Tyson was allowed to box again. But Tyson and Holyfield are close friends today, which is weird. So anyway, the match had over $180 million in revenue. Pretty good, huh? Adjusted for inflation, it was $290 million. Tyson got his boxing license back in October of 98. Tyson made amends with Holyfield on the Open Winfrey Show in 2009. Wow, that. So yeah, that was huge. Both men's boxing careers. Holyfield would be decent. He was a 4-time champion and all that. And Tyson was a decent fighter, but then by the late 90s, after his loss to Lennox Lewis, he was just basically a shell of himself and all that. Jail sentences, bankruptcy, buying extravagant stuff like a white Bengal tiger, one of his kids being injured on his exercise equipment. Tyson just couldn't escape bad luck. But he's decent now. Wonder how he's like now. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I'll do.